Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Also below this video, you can get £50 for swapping your UK electricity supplier to Octopus Energy. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected. And if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. One last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Bev, Neil, father of a stolen child, Arwin, 10th man, and a whole bunch of people in Discord. So welcome one and all.
Morning, all.
Afternoon.
Good morning.
Good morning, you tentative
Good
lot.
afternoon. Hey.
Okay, yeah, let's not overdo it. Very good to have you all. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge? That's a horizon, formerly known.
Oh, that's the one he was on.
And no.
So, my son's out on the film last week.
Yeah, that's it. Just join, leave your mic wide open, and have a discussion on a live show. That's just what I would do too. Thank you very much for that. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge? That's a horizon, formerly known as Earth curve.
Yeah, he interrupted my Discord good morning and hell no. Not to be confused with hello, because I already said good morning.
Hell no, no Earth curve. Hello, Eli. Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
No.
No? No?
No, zero.
No early mornings, people stepping in with claims of axial rotation by way of Coriolis deviation that we don't observe in anything beyond the gadgets and gizmos? No? Moving on. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
I have empirical guess.
No, we don't
You
even
want us
know
to
what
hear a
the
doctor
sun
about that?
is.
Oh, do you want
No.
to repeat yourself, Sasha? I don't think I heard you correctly.
I have empirical guess.
Yeah, you definitely want
No.
definitely want to see a doctor about that.
You don't want empirical guess. Okay.
Had a guess?
It was 7 million miles away, then 23, then 64, and in the end 73, and in the end 93. That's the answer.
Are you giving us the various distances that have been ascribed to the sun?
It was changing during the years, during the history.
Ah, I see. In a model, it
Yeah,
changes.
it's claimed to be a gas ball and sitting in the middle of a vacuum.
In 100 years, it will be 186 million miles. They will say they make mistake with Venus.
Okay, so what I'm getting is we've got a
A big
violation of natural
fireball
law
in a
gas.
vacuum.
We don't know. Yeah, that.
Well, yeah,
You
we know what it's not.
go
Though.
really hard. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, we know what it's not. We know it's not a burning ball of gas in a sky vacuum.
Right.
And then they say, well, no one says it's a burning ball of gas. It's actually just, plasmic gas. But they don't say plasmic gas, they just say plasma.
Right.
I'll take that as a no then.
Yep.
Go on, John.
I was just going to say, isn't that in plasma just energized gas particles and then introducing, that would be heat? to energize those particles?
Those particles not
Yeah, see
expanding
what
into
they
the space. That's correct. Yes.
right. So what they say is that the hydrogen and helium is densely packed into, you know, this given area is so dense that that it creates a plasma. Yeah, that's what they say. Where's the
Okay,
pressure coming
okay.
from?
I don't want to
So-
interrupt, but this seems like a good time. So, is anybody familiar with Mike Fiera's work? Mike Fiera. Anybody familiar with his work?
No, not me.
Anybody?
Else? Tell us why you're bringing it up. No one's jumped in to say, oh, yeah, I know all about it. So just tell us.
Okay, well, it has a lot to do with the like we talk a lot about the nature of Earth, and earlier to maybe not today, but in previous podcasts, we were talking about lightning and whether lightning go up from the Earth or down from the Earth, and we talked about that. Do you remember that?
No. Sorry.
Okay.
It does both.
So I would just like to recommend Mike Fiera's. He's not on YouTube, but he has like a Facebook group of the nature of Earth and like how those things could have came to being. So like Mike Fiera. That's it.
Cool. Well, thanks.
Yep. You're welcome.
Any more on this?
Nope. Mike Fiera is all I have to add on to this thing. Electricity going up or down, or like there was a whole, like I heard a whole thing about like electricity going whether the ground was to um
Okay. Don't worry.
yeah.
Let's move on. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
I'm just this doesn't have anything to do with a magnetic core, but just a magnetic Earth, like electronic magnetic Earth. That's what I'm trying to propose, I guess.
Sasha from the chat, super chat, says, if you use pseudoscience, you can empirically guess. Thank you for the super chat, Sasha. No, molten iron core? Yes, we have.
No,
accurate.
nothing there.
Yeah.
Nothing for the molten iron core.
Definitely not for the molten iron core. Definitely not.
No way.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
No such thing.
Nope.
What's gravity?
Currently, the uneven distribution of mass causing the bending of pseudo space.
We made that up, Nathan. That's
But-
us. That's QE. That's you.
What-
We made it up.
What I was trying to bring up is the electric universe. Like they say, we live in the electromagnetic universe. Like, so that's the concept I was trying to bring up.
Okay.
That's why when you flip over a magnet, it falls upwards.
The electric universe
Right.
people are heliocentric, you realise. Clearly not. Another shout out to Unitox Femu. If you peel an apple, you know what it is in the centre. If you peel apple, you can know what it is in the centre. think he's referring to if you dig down a little bit through the skin of Earth, then you know what's at the middle. So you've only got to peel the skin off the apple to know exactly how many seeds it's got, which is farcical. But that's what he's saying, I think. Thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, we got all 8 miles. We need to go other 3,000 and how much?
39.59.
Yeah, to reach that center. To say there is a molten iron core there.
Yeah, just with
And
the
there has to be
concept
some-
of molten iron core and all those things, like the lightning going up and down, and what is like the grounding of electricity. Like anybody who's looked into Mike Fiera's research, I would look into that.
We heard
That's-
Mike Fiera's name now 6 times. We got it.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Tinsley.
you.
I just asked once more time. You realise that you're directing people towards heliocentrists, though? Electric universe is a heliocentric methodology or model. Did you know that?
No, actually, Mike here, all his like speculation is he observed a flat Earth, and he's a flat earther. So no.
I stand corrected.
Right, it's more about the nature of the sun, electric universe theory. It kind of leaves open whether there is a space galaxy or whether it is
Exactly.
within the enclosed realm, right? It's just an idea
Like-
of like what's causing these lights, and it can apply
want to hold
to
on to space.
any cosmology.
And this gets into like what the mountains are made of, like what like the current mountains, like he gets into all the ancient miner and electric like processes of electricity and lightning and a whole bunch of other things, but like that we could explain and get into this conversation that I think would help a lot. But I think what's his name? I can't remember his name. Damn. He would know a lot about this. That's just what I'm saying. Like
Okie dokie. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
No, not
Nothing
yet.
past. Nothing past observation. That's all they got. They can't apply the scientific method because they can't manipulate the independent variable.
How about dark
Yeah.
matter?
yeah, no. I agree.
What's dark matter?
It was damn.
Dark matter, it's something that exists because of a mathematical issue that was unresolvable. So it was conjured, and then they made it counter opposite to anything empirical so that it could never be measured or inquired. That sounds legit science, right?
What? Just don't add it with
What?
don't add it with a sarcastic tone. Just, make the declaration about how it is nonsense as opposed to asking.
What I'm trying to bring up is the ancient miners, mud flood, like
We got it.
You know,
We're on dark matter now. We got it.
and okay.
Yeah, you're just droning on now. You've already said it. Now we're on dark matter, how it's a mathematical fix to a mathematical problem.
Sure, but I want Arwin to say it because he posed it as a question.
No,
Oh my
not
God. So, Arwin, can you just say it rather than pose it as a question? Thanks.
Dark matter?
No,
About that?
about roast chicken. What the hell?
Oh, okay. Well, you
ancient
have to
miners
make sure that
is what
the
I'm.
chicken is
Jesus wept.
properly gutted first, and then you put it in a well-heated oven, preheated perhaps or not. Make sure you check whether it is not overheating on one side. It keeps turning. Oh, sorry. Why wasn't I interrupted?
So close that line because the guy can't shut up.
Yeah, dark matter, and why it is absolutely not science. It's the counter opposite of science, right? It's because it was conjured up to correct for a mathematical issue that makes no sense anymore in the aftermath anyway, because the whole formula had been discarded anyway. But they still keep it around. So then they conjured the concept of dark matter, and then they made it in such a way that it is absolutely impossible to ever confirm anything about it empirically, even if that were to be a possibility at some point, by making it completely undetectable and unmeasurable.
Well, where does it take place? Is it in pseudo 4 space by any chance?
No, officially it's not. It's supposed to be in the outer space galaxy in Euclidean outer space. It's not pseudo-Riemannian. It's still Einsteinian, if I'm not mistaken.
Einsteinian is pseudo-Riemannian.
Newtonian.
That's what pseudo-Riemannian is. When you talk about Einsteinian, that is pseudo-Riemannian.
Yeah, I slipped up. I meant Newtonian. I thought that dark matter was still based on Newtonian mechanics.
I don't think so. I'll have to check. I don't think so, Arwen. Moving on. Unless anyone wants...
No, but it's simply because gravity could never be made to work mechanically or mathematically with the outer space universe except through Newton, because Einstein mathematics can't calculate multiple bodies. So it must have all been routed in Newtonian mechanics.
Why do you say outer space universe? I thought in their model there was only one kind.
Yeah, Newton used Euclidean geometry, so there's no chance of space in Newton mechanics.
Guy.
Are you kidding me?
All I wanted to bring up is because I listen to this show every single day. Like, I listen to this every day. All I wanted to bring up was the conversation of there was a conversation about lightning going up and down and
what are you
like where it comes from, like where the lightning, where the energy comes from, whether up or down, or damn, I can't think of the. Oh, fuck, I'm sorry.
You did bring it up. But now it's time to let the show move.
Yeah, you did. But
okay,
you sound tired. Maybe get some sleep. Is it late where you are?
Yeah, I've been up 24 hours. I'm sorry.
You sound like you have, mate. Get some sleep.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I listen to the show every single day
we heard.
for the past 5 years.
My friend,
and
without being rude.
Sorry,
I
just wanted to bring up a topic of someone brought up like lightning going up or lightning going down.
Sure, we heard.
And
okay. Currently, you've repeated that about 6 times, and you're kind of interrupting a bit. Now, I understand that you're very tired, but please don't let that destroy my live show. Pop yourself on mute unless you've got an answer to one of the questions. We're nearly done. Any evidence of the R value? That's Earth radius.
Equator line.
No, Arwen. There's no such animal. Bloody hellfire. You're going to keep doing this till I have some concise...
It's not a species.
Pardon?
Adam?
Somebody get him to show me the equator.
It's over there.
You can't show me. It doesn't exist. It's a derived location by way of celestial movement. Averages. It's not a physical location. It's not the outside edge of a sphere.
Well, it's a set designation now, so...
It's a designated...
regarded as the equator. The equator position isn't changing, right?
It hasn't got a position. That's the... Right. You're doing it deliberately. I can just sense it. There is no physical equator. There's no location you can direct me to. Now, I've been on the quote-unquote equator. It's not designated. It's based on an average that's derived and then arbitrarily ascribed to the ground. But there isn't anything on the ground. There is no equator that you can go to. You can go, I'm on the equator. Well, you can say geographically we have designated this line around a presupposition of a sphere as the equator. That doesn't mean there is one.
Right. It's just shadow-based average. That's it. So it's like, how do the shadows cast on average? Well, in this specific position everywhere on the Earth, that's where it is like maximized. That's where it all becomes averagely maximized. So yeah, it is arbitrary. It is an arbitrary assigned location, but very specifically based on the celestial orientations, which do not change except by their cyclical nature. So the derivative is very persistent.
So it sounds more like witchcraft than geography. How the shadows move. Yeah, that's not a physical place I can measure, though, is it, Arwin?
Well, yeah, it is a physical place, and you can measure it. It's just you can only derive that it is the equator based on the celestial orientation. You can't just see it from the matter on the location itself.
Right, so you can't see
maybe
it
by average sun exposure and all that.
Right, so you can't see it, you can only derive it, and then arbitrarily ascribe it to the ground based on averages of celestial movements. So it's a derivation, not a measurement, on the ground, exactly as I've stated now about 4 times. Please, can we move on?
Right, so there is an equator length.
No,
Arwen.
I never said we measured it physically. Why would you have to?
You did.
It's persistent, isn't it?
You did. You said you can measure it, and then you went on to say how you can derive it directly after saying you could measure it.
No, first you derive it, and then you measure how that makes the Earth a sphere.
And presuppose. Right, can we move on?
Please.
The ball wins.
I just knew it was coming, that's why I paused. I'm not going to get to interrupt me on this one. Any evidence that you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon?
Absolutely not.
Gravity, somehow. Supposedly. So ballers think
Absolutely
until
not.
you question them about it.
You are moving also in one direction, 66,000 miles per hour.
Are we? Says who?
No, he said gravity. Gravity cannot stop that.
Yeah, it has no effect on entropy. Any more for any more?
No, let's get through it. This is a weird Monday.
It's you can only have scientific evidence of something if you know what it is. You know, it's difficult.
Well said. So, in terms of the assertion that we have a natural law violation, gas not filling an availability of volume it has to fill, what evidence can we have of that? In other words, is there any demonstrations of gas pressure without a container? Quick shout out to Tony Whitcomb, who says, dark matter comes from dark minds of man. No validation of it, never can be shown. Thank you for the super chat, Tony.
Right, dark matter is like a cosmic turd.
Or a
They
fart in a
shitted it out themselves in their minds.
I prefer the red dwarf analogy. It's like a fart in a jacuzzi.
Okay.
I think that's it. Did we cover all the housekeeping questions? I believe so.
Right. I have a question, though, about dark matter. Does it actually expand in all directions like gas does?
I don't know. I mean, I made it up.
I think Bev has something substantive to share.
I do believe so. Hey, Bev, how's it going?
Fine, thanks. Fine, thanks.
Your message earlier. Exciting times.
Yeah. We've been out doing the final testing now. Good again. A few camera problems to iron out, but yeah, we're now in the position to be able to put people in Discord behind the auto level, behind the crosshairs of the auto level, and to understand exactly the process of how people use the tools and what the purpose of the tools are, and exactly how far you are able to use these tools to an acceptable level. You'll be able to see it. We also got 2.5 kilometers. We took the measuring wheel this time and measured straight out on the beach. Southport walk 2.5 kilometers straight out.
Okay, if we work on the assumption that nobody's listened to the last time you were here and they have no idea what you're talking about, can you, tedious though it may seem, go through it in its entirety, what you're trying to achieve, how the phraseology is relevant, getting under the horizon? Can you go through all of it?
Yeah. Okay, right. So when I first, I was on Twitter 5 or 6 years ago, and I got into a conversation with some people that said that the horizon rises to eye level, and I said, no, it doesn't. It can't be. It doesn't. It can't do. It doesn't do that because horizontals don't rise to each other. They stay at horizontal. They may appear to in the distance, but they definitely don't rise at all. So from then, I've been drawn into this arena that we are in at the minute. And it has become increasingly harder to try and explain to people exactly what level is and exactly how it works. So the best way we can try and describe it, I mean, we've tried to show people at the water levels and the canals and all of this sort of stuff that, you know, it's obviously a horizontal plane. It's even described as such in the dictionaries. It's used as such in practical terms in surveying. So it seems to be really difficult to be able to show people. So what we've developed is a way to put people from normal, be able to have a look at what actually happens on the level and give the a practical sort of experience as about as good as you could get without you actually being there. I mean, it's not as good as the practical experience of what you achieve by actually doing it. But I mean, this is about as close as you get. And to be honest, I think the view that you see through the camera that's on the lens, through Discord on a big TV screen it's much better than you actually see through your eye. So you get a better view through the camera, through the auto level than you would normally do. But it's just reading measurements. So what we did was we've set this at an auto level up with
just one sec. Sorry. Any chance you can put some visuals up because you're getting into the meat and to veg of it now, right? So can you pop something up? Can you present your screen just so it's visually presented so people know what you're actually talking about? As much as you're great verbally, I'm following along nicely. I know what you're talking about.
I don't know how to do that. What do you want me to put up? I said I haven't really got any videos or anything up yet. I've not got anything prepared other than that one I've sent you.
I'll do
the drone footage.
Okay,
but I mean, there's I've put some stuff in Master B. Some of the pictures through the auto level. If you
perfect. No, you're way ahead of me. That's you won't see them, but I've got them up for the audience, starting with the one with you and someone else standing next to you.
Yeah, okay. That's me and DP. DP decided to come and get under the horizon this time. So what it is we've set the auto the camera up on the auto level, and that's just looking out towards it's sort of the Isle of Man from Southport out across the out into the open bay. And we just walk out in a straight line. And the crosshairs, you can see there's two pictures there. If you got both of them right.
Yeah, I've got the first one with the crosshair.
Right, the one you can see the crosshair, and the other one, the crosshair goes faded, but you can see the focus of us in the distance. So that's the same. But I mean, that's to show that the distance away, the crosshairs are actually within the scope, but we are far beyond the usage of that instrument, other than, to just look through the scope of it. But you get to see the drop and all of that. But I mean, we'll be doing further studies into that. But yeah, that's what we do. We put the camera on the auto level. I've also got a camera on my phone, so you can get to see what I see from my side. and like you get to be able to talk to us and what's going on. You see that the workable range, I think everybody decided at this time, was around 100 meters. To be able to optically view what to a millimeter accuracy. And then there's something else that happens in the drop in the distance. But basically what we're doing is you can see that we drop out and all of that 5 meter measuring rod is underneath the crosshairs of the auto level. So that means we've dropped above 4 meters as we drop out into the distance. But the horizon behind us, which we call is the true horizon, the water level is above our heads, showing that, and even that is below the horizontal crosshairs. So I don't know. To me, it's an amazing picture to be able to do that. I can't see how you were meant to go over that at a distance of whatever, because I seem to be, like I say, we're 2.5 kilometers away and we've just got lower.
Okay, you said earlier that you can get involved and you were sort of encouraging people, but you didn't exactly plug your server or where people can find you. Can you do that as well, please?
Oh, right. It's next level on Discord. And we'll be doing mainly stuff on the Try Thinking YouTube channel. But if anybody wants to come and get involved, it's on the Next Level Discord server. That's where we do go live, and we'll be doing all of this live stuff and interaction. People can come in and get involved, ask us any questions, and so we can show people what we're doing. We've got some other tests coming up involving some other things, but this is just the beginning to show what we can do. And like, because of that beach as well, I mean, that beach is a long beach and we're walking down it, right, towards the tide, but you could walk along it, in which case it would all be pretty much at the same level, so you could have a nice straight, like, if we just aimed ourselves in a different direction, which we might be doing at some other point, we would get a longer walk away, possibly six miles or something like that. You never know.
You're going to walk it?
Well, we could do, I mean, we could get a few of us. I mean, that's the idea, is to get, there's a lot of people seems to be in this particular area with P1000s, P900s, and people that want to get involved in all sorts of stuff. So, I mean, that's what we're opening it up for.
Perfect.
Just come down.
Perfect. Plug your Discord server, YouTube channel once more, then I've just got a quick shout out to a super chat. But thank you very much, Bev, for presenting that, explaining it.
Thank you. Have you seen that other video that I've given you?
Just shout out your server name, YouTube channel, just once more, really clearly.
Okay, it's Discord, Next Level on Discord, and the YouTube channel's Try Thinking.
Perfect. Just a quick shout out from Drunken Bullet 411, who says, Arwin, check your PayPal and have a beer on me. Shut up, Nathan. Thank you very much for the super chat, Drunken Bullet 411. Abuse on multiple levels whilst giving me money. I absolutely love it. Excellent. So yeah, go and check out Bev's server.
Good morning, guys.
You might want to get involved. You might actually end up being in one of these photos and figuring out how we view things, which is all you're doing. You're just having a look at the world, right? And it is amazing. We live in an amazing world. We've just been deceived about what it is and how it works and how we should calculate things we see in pictures, hijacking of perspective, all of those good things. Now, I'm not saying you have to have an appreciation of all those things to get involved. It might be that you're just curious to see what's going on. But nevertheless, you can get involved from the server, so you don't actually have to be out on the beach doing this stuff, walking 6 miles, in this case, a couple of K. You can just get involved by being in the server and asking a few questions. So hopefully you do grow your server. I hope you get more people involved, and I hope more people go out with their cameras. Doesn't matter if it's P1000s or anything else for that matter. But it's nice that there are people with good equipment that's obviously almost custom made for doing this, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's only the optics bit. I mean, we never really wanted to get involved in the optics until I went to a car park and took a picture. Then that sort of brought us in, as the person who brought us in there has gone running away. But that was only the Saturday. On the Sunday was the better one. Was I went out and stretched out the 400-meter water level along the side of the canal.
That's what I thought you were going to talk about here, but I didn't know to prompt you because I didn't know if it was something you were keeping under your, what do they say, under your hat.
Well, I say the testing has been ongoing for quite a while. I mean, if anybody knows what we do, we've been doing this sort of stuff for a year or so.
Okay, let's just stop. Okay, explain what people might assume they know what you mean when you say water level. Just explain precisely what that is.
It's any device utilizing the surface of liquid water. Thus, the water establishes an equilibrium of even pressure across the surface. Call that a zero baseline right across the surface. So that I say that's a horizontal plane. Other people say otherwise, but all that's needed in order to do and use this tool is like a tube, call it a garden hose, or any sort of tube. So the question came to us as, how do you establish a water level, and what is needed in order to establish a water level? And I immediately thought, or came to the conclusion, that the only thing that matters is that vertical drop. So a water level will establish a level with neither end of the tube, the water in the tube, being neither higher nor lower than the other end. So it establishes an equilibrium.
Right.
The question came is to what happens in the middle. But if it's a tube, then the middle doesn't really matter, in that position with the water level. So after talking to people who went crazy about, what exactly happens with the water level and how it works, because it's old school, right? Being able to stretch out a thing of water and have it be a horizontal, that's old school. There's new tech stuff now. So yeah, the mission came, and then people started giving us calculations of stuff, of supposed drop from horizontal of the water level, which I thought was a little bit strange. So we devised a geometric method in order to tell.
Stop. So hold on.
I'm rambling.
You've just spent a couple of minutes explaining how the whole purpose of the water level is to establish if there is any drop, and if you understand the principles of what water would do, it would go to one end if there was drop. But then you've got people who are explaining to you how it incorporates essentially a drop, when that's precisely the thing it's trying to negate or show that there is, so you can negate it, correct?
Yeah. People actually said that.
Yeah, who are these people? Who are these people? Not names, but are they of a particular breed? If you know what I mean.
Well, the first one claims to be a surveyor. That's why I was so surprised. I mean, a lot of people say a lot of strange things, but yeah, I've had some pretty supposedly high-ranked people tell me this. I mean, I'm not making it up. This is literally what they say. Has to happen, you realise.
Sure, but if you're detailing a tool that's sole purpose is to establish level, as crude as you're saying, it's old school, it's crude, it's basic, yeah, but it's establishing a fundamental principle that would show you if there was drop or not. And you're saying there's a particular type of person that's telling you, no, it will incorporate curve. What's the word you use? I think it's beautiful. Bendizontal, I think is what you use.
Yeah.
Right. So what I'm suggesting is that beyond a religious belief of being on a sphere-shaped Earth, i.e. the Earth curving away from you, there is no need to describe the antithesis of what a tool does. There's no requirement to do that. I don't see any need to describe a tool that has a purpose, negating its own purpose, other than to establish a religious belief in Earth curving away when you can measure it flat.
Yeah. Yeah, like I say, when I first came into this and went into my first debate with Fight the Flat Earth, you might say, he told me that straight lines curve. And now he is well ahead of his time when he first said that, because I was flabbergasted. I didn't know what to say. When that was his opening line to where we were debating straight lines and level. And he said, well, straight lines curve. And just the other day, we had a guy.
Literally delusional.
Yeah, we had a guy who come round the other day that told us a horizontal is a circle. It has to be for these people. They're crazy. But, that's what's required. Once you get into the geometric argument, then the only way out is horizontal. Horizontal circles.
Perfect. You're going just where I want you to. So what you're saying is the only place you can go to if you're a sphere-believing fundamentalist religious zealot when measuring Earth as flat is to assert that flat is actually bent. Correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. They have to believe that a two-dimensional surface actually wraps around the surface of a sphere. That is, every surface you can see and touch is two-dimensional to them. They're the literal flat earthers, telling you.
Well, they're dealing with a world that is obviously measurably and observably flat, and then having to explain why it's measured flat. And that's because flat means bent to them. Flat means curved. Horizontal isn't horizontal, it's actually a circle. As absurd as that may seem, that's what you are required to do if you have a fundamentalist religious belief in a sphere and are shown by someone like Bev that it isn't measuring drop, it's measuring flat. And the principle that shows you drop is showing it's flat. And they say, no, the principle that would show you drop doesn't show you drop because it incorporates drop, because bent isn't bent, it's actually straight. Or the antithesis, straight is actually bent, horizontal is actually bendizontal. Quick shout out to Unicorn Laser Eyes, who says, Bev has taken the fight to Ranty Flat Water's backyard. Good on you, Bev. Thank you very much for the super chat, Unicorn Laser Eyes.
Yeah, he came out of hiding this morning.
Well, I don't know if that's strictly true, and you did vaguely hint at it earlier, which was to say that you were at a particular car park because you were directed in that particular way by a particular individual that wasn't Ranty, correct?
Yeah. Well, Ranty gave him Ranty found a picture on Facebook and then went, I've stared at this for 200 hours, Cats. I haven't got a clue what's going on. And then Cats made the video about it. Yeah.
What, 200 hours? What are you talking about?
Ranty found a picture on Facebook and stared at it for 200 hours, trying to figure out what was going on. And in the end, he decided that the mountains were like under the feet somewhere in the dirt.
Did he say that?
He stared at it for the better part of a week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how long. It might have been over months because Ruhif was making some sort of a model or something. So obviously Ruhif had something to do with it. Yeah, it's been in the works for quite a while, all of this sort of stuff with Ranty and him not taking
pictures. They stared at a picture for 200 hours just to try to figure out that the horizon's actually...
in the middle of the picture, he thinks it is. You can't see the mountains and see it's a topographic horizon. No. He has to put it in the middle of the picture. No, it's no wonder he's turned Ranty.
Sorry, without the sarcastic tone. Don't want to have to give you the same lecture I gave Arwin. Just say it like it is, right?
Yeah. Ranty literally thinks the horizon is in the middle of the picture. He went into a debate and had a debate with Whitsitt, and Whitsitt agreed with him. It was in the middle of the picture. I don't know what to say. I mean, Ranty says the bottom of the mountain isn't where it should be, and I can't get him to talk to us because they're all running. They've all not got a clue about actually what happens in reality.
Yeah, they're used to referencing a begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator, and even when they're trying to burn a straw man of what they say we claim when they're saying it, as I say, burning a straw man, they refer to how much drop they're going to require, or assert that should or shouldn't be there, from the begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator, which has nothing to do with reality. It's in Muppet vision. You see the side of your own head, and it has no perspective. So when it comes to them actually looking at the world that's around them, they haven't got a clue. They're lost without their begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator, as demonstrated by them constantly referring to how many feet should or shouldn't be there based on their reference of the begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator, which we've debunked. They don't have an R value to beg the question of this begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator anymore. To reference these values, you'd need a geometric horizon. It's been debunked by the Black Swan.
Well, I can't work out how it could possibly be over the top of my head if it's
what, falling
meant
away
to
from
be
you?
on a curve and dropping away from me. I really don't get it. Like there's something really wrong in those pictures that we've been doing in Southport. If, as claimed, it's meant to be dropping away from you at every point.
Precisely. Well said. Dropping away from you? No, clearly, evidently not. This isn't what we are told is the world we see in Muppet Vision. Based on the begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator, Earth should drop away at 8 inches per mile squared. It's not what it does. We have optical effects, not optical effects removed, seeing the side of your own head and drawing one single straight line between you and a tangent point we've debunked with the Black Swan. The whole Earth curve premise is dead.
But Nathan, how can it do that if it's locally flat? How could it also simultaneously be dropping away from us in every direction?
Optical effect.
If we're told it's locally flat.
Yeah, well, they're locally flat, still uses their optical geometry removed, begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator. It's still going to reference a datum that's assuming that 8 inches per mile squared drop from every position. So when you do that, you've still got the same exact mathematics to conform to, and you can't. We've debunked it.
Yeah, the problem is they can't have a horizontal being a line. If it's more than 1 point, they're gone. Their model is nothing, and that's why a horizontal has to be a circle. It cannot be any length of a straight line because that can be produced at any length at any, and then it's a horizontal line, and that sort of seems to debunk the model, especially when you have tools that establish horizontals and horizontal being perpendicular.
Apparently all those tools have been invented for naught, right? Because now we're being told level is not actually level, it's actually curved, and that's what these levels were created for. So the whole fact of liquids having the surface flat, that's been negated because we'll think that straight is curved. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, but in terms of the practical application of this, observing it flat, measuring it flat, levelling it out, and then building on it, just go and look at a wide expanse of city and see how flat it actually is. Now they say, oh, locally flat. No, just flat. That's how it's been built on.
Yeah, it's the area that we live.
We got to tell those guys to go back and redo it all because apparently they didn't take into consideration that their levels were measuring curve.
Yeah, but taking into consideration curve and actually dealing with the ground that we dwell atop are very different things. Arguing about where the curve should be accounted for and calculated when they're actually building on flat territory is nigh on irrelevant, because what they say, that would be trench level fundies, versus what we experience are completely at odds with each other. And when we get to the point where they accept some of the realities of the measuring of our flat plane we dwell atop, they will tell us that we have bendizontal. Well, they say a lot. Doesn't mean that we're not dwelling atop a flat plane. We are, measurably, observably, obviously flat.
We do live on a plane. This little bit, it's I guess you could say it's flat enough that they can build a 27-mile stretch of canal and not need any locks on it. So that's got to be pretty, I'd say flat, but I mean, other people say curved, don't they?
That's got to be devastating, is what it is.
Mm.
It almost shows you why they have to go or run back into a state of delusion and just say things like levels curved, because you have canals, you have things that just blatantly show you how flat it is, how liquids work, and you have the audacity to tell us that it's different when we can just see it, measure it. I mean,
That's why the 400 meter.
Doing this with these guys, bro.
we got the 400 meter water level, right? So if it goes 400 meters and I say that's level, well, they have numbers and calculations that need to be done. Now, a water level is pretty accurate. I mean, without a micrometer fitted to it, you could easily get to 1 or 2 millimeters to get rid of that meniscus. You could go within that, but I mean, the calculated curvature rate is so-called, we've been told by Ruhif, over 400 meters is 12.6 millimeters, near half an inch.
I've opened up the live stream chat, so if you're watching this live right now, you can share your pain in the chat. Or we could all go silent for a moment.
No Globers? No Globers in Discord here to tell us how level is curved?
Oh, I'm here. I didn't realize I'd been unmuted.
Oh, you're going to tell us how level is curved? Hello?
Am I going to tell you how level is curved? I don't know. I don't plan on it.
You don't plan on it?
Yeah, have you been following the conversation?
Sounds like something
to
you
know why
disagree
he's
with. I try to avoid leading off with something somebody might disagree with.
Have you been following the conversation to know why he asked you that?
Like
I've been listening a bit. I must admit I got confused because I was stuck in the sort of waiting queue, and then I switched to voice chat, and then I came back here. If you can catch me up, it'd help.
Well, no. What do you want to say?
You had like that type of reaction to what I said, because it almost sounded like what I said was kind of silly when I said level is curved. Like, do you agree with that, or do you think that's actually a factual statement?
Level is curved. I don't know. I guess it's probably down to definitional things, isn't it? Like, how does one define a thing? I'm not sure. I don't. If somebody said what's level, I'd probably go for something straight.
Yeah, I do.
So let's start defining then. What's level in your definitions?
He just said it's a level.
I'd probably say perpendicular to down. Like, I'd get a plumb line and I'd go, what's perpendicular to that? And that'd probably be good enough for me.
Like horizontal is perpendicular to vertical. That sort of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds reasonable to me.
So level would be horizontal then. Brilliant.
Level would be horizontal then. Yeah, that sounds reasonable to me.
So that wouldn't be the same thing as a curved line, right?
I guess it depends. It would depend on my purposes. It doesn't sound to me. Yeah, at a local level, I wouldn't say that's going to be curved.
Depends on
building a,
purpose.
Dude, level is level. It's not
bridge.
curved.
Guys, can you hear him
Okay,
talking?
fine.
Hello?
It's not
Hello?
curved. All right.
Hello? Can you hear him talking?
I don't know. If somebody gets excited, they can speak up if they want, I guess.
Yeah, thanks for that. So essentially, the majority of the side that Bev's arguments put to suggests that level is actually curved. Now, you're saying, no, that doesn't seem reasonable, but that's where the argument ends when we point out that Earth's obviously observably and measurably flat. They tell us level's curved. That's why we're asking. Now, if you're saying, no, that seems unreasonable, we'd agree. But Earth is obviously observably and measurably flat then.
Obviously, observably, and measurably. I mean, in terms of obviously, I would say, yeah, it appears to me, if I look at it, it appears to me to be flat. Measurably, I'm not sure about that. I guess it would depend how you measure it. I've certainly never measured curvature.
Can you show us anyone who has? Can you show us measured drop at 8 inches per mile squared? Could you show us that?
Even the method, we'll have a go at.
I did ask my dad this one, and I said, I've been talking to flat earthers lately. What would you say seems to indicate that the Earth is spherical? And he said a sextant. He navigated by sextant regularly.
That's
I've
fascinating.
not heard a compelling.
Sure, that's fascinating. Sure, fascinating stuff.
Say again, sorry?
Yeah, that's fascinating, but that's completely not what I asked.
Right. Okay. No, I've not. I don't know of anybody who's measured 8 inches per mile squared.
That's the fundamental premise of Earth being a sphere, though. You'd think that would be really easy to acquire, would you not?
I think it'd be easy to. No, I don't think it'd be easy. I think that'd be very difficult. I think that'll require extraordinary amounts of precision over great distances.
Right, like Bev's using. That's like part of what we were discussing when you joined the conversation was about how we're measuring it.
Awesome. Tell me about that.
It's flat.
Can I?
I'll just tell you. I'll just tell him. I'll just tell him. It's flat.
Right.
Well, that's the point, really, because like mountains go up, and then when you're at the top of a mountain, it goes down. So it's not hard to measure the Earth curving because that's what surveyors do. You know, elevation rises on the vertical, right? It goes up and it goes down.
Mm.
That's reference towards a mean sea level, right? As it is in most places.
Mm-hmm.
You understand that? So actually measuring that land going up and down, that's been done, obviously, hasn't it? That's definitely been mapped. That's how they make topographic maps.
Right.
And they know the terrain and they know where the water lies in the flat spots because, they can sort drainage out and do all of that sort of stuff. So it's not that particular Earth curvature that we're talking about here. In particular, I'm been told about the water curving, right? Because that would be the only place you could find it. This fabled curvature is on the water surface. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, certainly that's the place I'd look because topographically, locally, or even over great distances, I guess land is a bad way to go about it, isn't it? Because you could just go going uphill gently and then downhill gently, whereas water seems to have that habit of in a glass or in a spirit level or something just lies flat. That's how that works.
Right. So if the water is to curve, how would you imagine it curves? Is it always dropping away from you, or does it sort of rise up and have a hump in the middle of the two ends that are level of a water level? Imagine like a canal that has got.
I've got to admit, the thing has always confused me. The thing has always been beyond my ability to sort of just get. Sort of on a sort of level of does it just sort of instinctively make sense to me? The answer, if that's the question you're asking, the answer is no, it doesn't.
Okay. With that, though, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you first and foremost to both Discord and G++ Pals for making today's live show possible. If you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Also, below this video, you can get £50 for swapping your UK electricity supplier to Octopus Energy. Massive thanks to all of you who smashed the super chat. I've been Nathan Oakley. Stay tuned if you're watching on a premiering stream, and I'll see you all in the next video. fucking day.